Hello, hello. I think I'm working. Um, Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are. My name is Axel from Get Speaking English. I am back today to do another crossword. I know it's been a little bit of time. It's been kind of challenging here to get things going so early in the morning. It's kind of early here. But anyways, I want to try this again. Probably not as often as I was previously. But I do like this activity though. I think this activity is really a lot of fun. So I would like to continue doing it from time to time. I'm going to try to do it on Wednesdays and Fridays right now at this time. So I believe it is 1300 UTC right now. So I'm going to try to do, a Wednesday and a Friday stream at 1300 UTC. And then also too, so I live in Canada and I know that a lot of people, a lot of my followers, a lot of my students as well too, they are all in Europe or they're in Asia. So there's definitely a huge time difference. But I know that there are lots of students and people in North and South America as well. So I also would like to do an evening stream as well. So tonight I'm going to try to do an evening stream as well. So you're welcome to come back if you want a little bit later. I think that time is 2100 at 2130. So so that would be tonight's stream. But anyways, we're going to do this crossword here. I'm going to take a couple minutes to explain how this is going to happen. I am live right now on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube. You can see the addresses at the bottom of the screen. You are more than welcome to come and participate in any of those places. You will be able to talk in the chat and things like that. We are going to figure out this crossword together. So the more help, the better. So don't be shy. So I do have a couple of rules though. So if I could find my little right thing. There we go. All right, so I do have a couple rules though about how this is going to work, and also some information that you should know as well, specifically about this crossword. So the first thing is that please don't cheat. So I know that there are websites and things out there where we can find the answers to the crosswords on them. We are not going to use that. So only if I tell you to use the internet, you should use the internet, but do not, otherwise I think that we will be able to figure this out together. We won't need the internet, so no cheating. Also too, please follow the conversation. So what's going to happen is we are going to go through, I'm going to let us know what question we're going to work on when, we're going to discuss it. We might have some little conversations related to the question as well too, so we can review vocabulary, phrases, things that come up. So don't jump ahead, start talking about things we haven't talked about. Please just follow along, play along, and don't rush ahead. Also try to be nice to one another as well. So the chat is open, like I said. We are on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So you can participate in any of those places, but let's create a nice, friendly learning environment where everybody feels comfortable participating. Be kind to me as well, too. I am human. I am also not using the internet to figure out these crosswords, so sometimes I also make errors and things like that. That will happen. So let's just be nice and supportive to each other. It's important to know, too, that this is an American crossword, so the spelling, for the most part, will be American spelling. So you can see on the board a couple examples of the differences between American and British spelling. There are many other differences as well, too, and also differences in vocabulary and things like that as well. So this is going to be primarily American. So just an FYI. Also, too, sometimes there are trivia questions or questions about geography, history. A lot of it is about the United States. However, luckily we won't need to know a lot of trivia and things like that. And I will probably just put things in as if I know anything that I think the group won't be able to get. So you don't need to know a lot of trivia. So luckily we are going to spend our time talking about language, words, things like that. So don't worry about the trivia. Also, too, it's really important to know that the answers will match the questions. So, so they're always going to be the same type of word. So, for example, if there is an abbreviation in the question, we know that the answer will also be an abbreviation. If there is a plural, for example, in the question, there will be a plural in the answer as well. So those kind of things always match, you know, an adverb for an adverb, an ing form for an ing form. All of that is pretty consistent. So that's really helpful. It definitely helps me all the time, especially words that end in ed and s. Super useful to know. Also too, multiple word answers are okay in this crossword. So, for example, sometimes the answer might be a phrasal verb, right? Lots of phrasal verbs in English. Sometimes common phrases, little idiomatic expressions, that sort of thing. Also, sometimes too, they are just parts of sentences or maybe like the title of a movie, something like that. So sometimes you will see a really long answer. It's probably going to be a multiple word answer, but hopefully I will know, I will see it, I will let you know as well, so we can figure it all out together. And finally too, I know we are here to review English, do some practicing, also learn something new as well. But please be aware that some of the answers, some of the words in the crossword are not ones that we would use in real life. So there are words in here that are very archaic, so very old-fashioned. They're very formal maybe, so we would only use them in very specific contexts. I will try to let you know if something is not good for real life. We will talk about lots of very useful things, so this activity is still going to be great, do not worry. But yeah, there are definitely words in here that even I, as a native English speaker, would never use in a conversation, for example, and I would only use them when completing the crossword. So kind of important things to keep in mind. All right, so let's go back over here. I think you can see my screen. I was having trouble getting this set up a little bit today. So again, you'll be able to participate on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube. I suspect too that this might be a little bit quiet because I didn't really advertise that this was happening. I wasn't sure when I was going to come back, and then I was talking to somebody yesterday and they're like, oh, you should do it. So here I am. We're getting back into the habit of doing these little streams and things like that. Okay. So, I'm just gonna switch my screens here for a second. All right, so we have the first one here. We have a track event. What the heck is track? Track. It's kind of a form. It's a type of an athletic activity. So kind of like a sport, right? And the track typically, it's kind of a place where people, well, I'm going to show you here what exactly is the track that we're talking about. Here we go. There we go. I'll remember how all of this works. in a couple of minutes. Okay, here is a track. So here we have the track, really common to have these kind of tracks, maybe near a school, for example, or some sort of athletic facility, maybe like a sports center, gym, maybe, right? So, so there is a particular type of event, so track event, a typical thing that we would do on this place, at this location. So we can see here, it starts with like 4 letters. So we have a 4-letter thing here. So a type of event that would happen here on this track. So if you think that you know, feel free to put it into the chat. I'm gonna get a little bit of maybe a picture of what this thing is. This is an activity that people will do. So athletes will do on a track. You might see this kind of activity happening. Maybe this type of activity happening at the Olympics. And actually, now that I think about it too, the track could also refer to a sort of a place where people who drive cars would do a very similar thing. But here are some people that are sort of, you can see that they are doing this activity on this track here. Hey, Adriana, welcome. It's good to see you. Yes, this is going to be a race. Yeah, we're going to do a race on the track, exactly. So our race is going to be our track event. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I was thinking too, as I was going through my mind, we would also refer to, you know, a car race when they do car, like, you know, like the, with racing cars, we would also refer to this as the track as well. So, and this is also a form of a race. So yeah, so race is going to be our answer here. All right, so we have fight, sight, vicinity, and cut off in Persia today. Okay. I don't really do trivia here, but if you happen to know what Persia today is, put it in the chat. I'm gonna focus on this one, but if you do know what Persia is today, you can put that in there. Otherwise I will just add it in a little bit later. But a fight site. So here, obviously the location, a fight, location of a fight, and yeah, I think this is like competitive fighting. Competitive. And I think that this has to do with kind of like a specific type, maybe like sort of like boxing, or I don't know if you guys watch, like, you know, there's UFC, mixed martial arts, also too wrestling. They all take place in kind of a very specific type of place. So all of these fights take place in a specific type of sort of like setting or location. Yeah, exactly. So ring is going to be our answer. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna get like a picture really quickly, so we're all on the same page. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. Sort of like the classic So like boxing or wrestling ring, right? Where you have the little barrier, like the ropes, the barrier and things like that. Yeah, so so I think that's gonna be our fight site. So great job. What else have we got here going on here? So we have an uncool fellow. Yak it up. Okay. The cut off. Okay. I think we could potentially do this one. Any ideas what the word vicinity means? I'm gonna put this in a sentence. Maybe we can get an idea of what this word means. It has to do kind of with distance. I'm gonna put it in context. Here you go. Here's sort of this word in context so we can kind of figure out what it means. So there are several hotels in the immediate vicinity of the station. So if something is in the immediate vicinity or the vicinity of something, it is very nearby. It is very close. All right, so it is kind of at a very similar location. All right. So we have, now that we have like this 4-letter word here, we have something, 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 something. So we're basically looking for sort of another location word that we might be able to use here. So, you know, like location, maybe region, right? Although region can also refer to something really big, right? But yeah, kind of a word along those lines. Yeah. So something to do with location. I'm trying to think of other synonyms. Other synonyms, maybe the similar place, you know? Yeah, this is gonna be area. This is area. So, yeah, so we might also say that, you know, there are several hotels in the, I don't know, in the area by the station. So that could be another way to say that there are other hotels in the immediate vicinity or nearby the station. So yeah, so in the area by the station. Awesome. Yeah. All right. So we have area. This is, we might, I don't know if we're gonna like know this, but that's cool though. These are kind of some great slang words here. So yak it up. Have you ever heard this before? To yak it up? Or any guesses about what it might mean? This is a very, very slang word. Or super informal. But it kind of means to, if you are yakking away, yakking away with other people, or if you're yakking it up, that means that you are talking, like you're having a very vibrant discussion with somebody else. So to yak it up means to have a vibrant, sort of very like vibrant discussion with someone else. So to yak basically means to, you know, talk a lot or chat a lot, like with your voice, maybe on the phone or something like that, you know. They were yakking on the phone all night, or they were yakking in the cafe. So we're looking for a synonym. This answer here is going to be another, sort of another informal way to refer to sort of having a really vibrant, I should say lively discussion. That's a better collocation. I'm tired. I'm not awake, but I have a lively discussion. So we're looking for another word. G-A something. G-A something. That also means to have a very good discussion. I feel like this one is going to be more common than this one. But still probably could be a new word for some of us, for sure. So if you think you might know it, it's kind of a great one. Very informal though. I think I'm having some internet problems. We're having a storm here or something. So gag, so not gag. Gag is can have a couple different meanings. It's not going to be gag though. Usually gag may be like if you choke on something, and then you kind of have like that reflex. It's kind of like, so that's what it means to gag on something. A gag can also be like a joke, for example. Sort of like a reflexive sort of like movement your throat does when you choke on something, basically. Or a gag could be like a joke, basically. This one here is going to be to gab. So if you gab with somebody, it kind of means that you're like talking a lot. Maybe you're going on and on and on. A lot of enthusiasm. Maybe you're gabbing with other people. But yeah, it just basically means to talk a lot, very enthusiastically. Yeah. So another great little word. Here, I put it in a bit of a context here. So the two of us were always gabbing away. So we were always having great little lively discussions. Love chatting with people. Let me know, are you a gabber? Do you like to gab a lot with your friends, maybe? Have lots of really lively discussions? Or are you more introverted? I am not a gabber. I am not a gabber at all. But some people are really like that. So let me know, are you gabby? So we would use that as an adjective. As someone who is gabby. Talks a lot. Or maybe more common to say somebody who's chatty. Anyways, let me know. Let me know if you are gabby. If you like to gab with other people. Okay, what else do we have going on here? So we've cut off. Yeah, there we go. So we've cut off. An uncool fellow. I think we might be able to do. I think we might know this one. N-E something. Yeah, not at all. Yeah, me neither. I'm like not a gabber. Yeah. I was talking to somebody last night though, who was very much a gabber. It's just like on and on and on and on. Anyways, it was fun. It was different. So yeah, so an uncool fellow. Uncool fellow. So kind of the opposite of somebody who's popular, right? All right, so this is kind of a bit of a slang term as well, very informal, right? But sort of a word that we might use to describe, or yeah, like a word, like a name. Someone who maybe they like to study a lot, or they like to read a lot, or maybe they are into gaming and things like that. Yeah, I see it on Facebook. We have the word on Facebook. Nice. Yeah. So I see it on Facebook. Let's see, we get it on YouTube. So yeah, so somebody who maybe prefers to study or play video games, potentially not very popular. Yeah, so a nerd is going to be our uncool fellow. Exactly. Fantastic. Great job, guys. Yeah. So I feel like I'm more on the nerdy side and less on the Gabby side of things. So, anyways, I think we might be able to get this one, maybe. That's kind of more of like a trivia thing. Declines, phone message. Let's do this one, actually. Let's like fill out this little part of this phrase here. So I think we'll be able to do this pretty quickly. Dun, 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 dun. A deal. So, I'll give you a hint. So I know that this looks like it's a 3-letter word. But remember, we could use multiple words or little phrases, sometimes phrasal verbs and things like that in this crossword. So this is actually like 2 words. One of them is sort of a contraction. So yeah. So basically, like, I'll like add the little where the contraction would be. There we go. Although this is backwards. Anyways. Here we go. Yeah, so any ideas what might complete this little phrase that we might say? So something, a deal, we would say if we've come to an agreement of something. So maybe you're negotiating, for example, you've been trying to like figure out something. So I see it on YouTube. We have the answer on YouTube. See if we can get it on Facebook. You think you know? Put it in the chat. Give us like a couple seconds. I'll put part of it in here. So we have the S part. We just basically need like a subject here, because we know that all sort of sentences need a subject, right? Anyways, it's a deal. Yeah, it's a deal, we would say, right? So it's a deal. So let's put it's in here. All right, can't spell. There we go. It's a deal. And let's do this one now here. This little phone message. And I know we have no information here. So type of message you'd send with a phone. Now, I know like once upon a time, if you're kind of on the old side of things, like I am, I guess, once upon a time you weren't able to really send these kind of messages on a phone, but these days everybody has smartphones, right? So this is a type of message you would send not just with any phone, but with a smartphone. Okay, so type of message you would be able to send with a smartphone. So not something where you would pick up the phone and call them, but sort of another form of communication that you would use to contact somebody by phone. So we see it on YouTube. Let's see if we can get it anywhere else. Yeah, I'll put the first letter in here. So if anybody else thinks that you'd happen to know, let me know. But yeah, very super common form of using the phone. Actually, I know so many people that don't even like doing traditional phone calls. They just spend all of their time communicating this way. But yeah, that's going to be a text. So a text is going to be our phone message. So a type of message we can send with a phone. Yeah. All right, awesome. What else do we got here? Try to get more information so we could figure this out. I think I could get this one actually. So this cut off thing. To cut something off. All right, so we have this phrasal verb here, obviously. Our answer starts with an E. There is a D in it. I hope you can see my typing. Yeah, okay. So to cut something off, I know that there's like a number of different ways that we could cut something or someone off. So for example, if you are driving, maybe somebody will pull it in front of you, they will cut you off. That is not what this answer is, but that is one way that we would cut something off. We might also use it to basically detach part of something from something else. Like if I could cut off the end of my hair, make it shorter. And we would also use it to describe maybe, finishing something, right? Yeah, so this answer is going to be end, exactly. So end here. Basically to... there you go. Basically to finish something. And typically to finish or end something before expected, actually. Before expected. So, maybe maybe something was intended to go sort of longer, but then you stopped it prematurely. Maybe you cut it off prematurely. So that's what it means to end or to cut something off here. So also just to end something. Yeah, okay. So, so this Persia today thing, I'm just gonna put this in here. This is Iran. It's Persia today. And let's do this here. Because I don't know if we're gonna know what this is. But so we have a pasta sauce. And then we also have this little animal here. Do you guys eat a lot of pasta? Do you eat a lot of pasta? I'm gonna get a picture. If we eat a lot of pasta, I will describe how to make this pasta sauce. It's kind of like it's like an Italian pasta sauce dish, right? Which is kind of made with this like Parmesan. What is it? I don't know how to spell Parmesan cheese. There's prosciutto in it. Is that prosciutto? It's kind of like sort of bacon or something in it. And egg, basically, is what this is. This pasta, type of pasta. This is basically a type of pasta sauce here. I'm gonna get a picture. Prosciutto is kind of like cured ham, like bacon, for example. Kind of like a type of bacon. It has sort of like a white color. Here's kind of like a picture. Sort of a very creamy sauce. Sort of this deal here. This one here. So we have like the Parmesan cream. Parmesan cheese. That is a type of cheese. We got some bacon and then basically sort of like an egg. and you make it. Anyways, this is carbonara. We're gonna put carbonara on here. I think that's how you spell it. Let's go here. Carbonara. All right, so we got some carbonara. Oh, there we go, carbonara. Let me know if you've tried this before. Have you had carbonara before? With the bacon in it, with the prosciutto in it. But sometimes I will do it with sun-dried tomatoes instead. And it's actually pretty decent. It's really good. Anyways, so carbonara, let me know if what you think about that. What else we got here? Let's do this Mink's cousin. Maybe Mink's cousin. So a mink is an animal. It's like this little furry thing that sometimes they're commonly used for fur, harvested for fur, actually. So this is a mink, this little guy here. So we're looking for a cousin, right? Mink's cousin. Looking for an animal that is kind of related to this guy, this little guy here. Oops. So we have, yeah, something. Oh, T, something. I'll give you a little bit of a hint about this animal. This animal usually lives, it's like an aquatic animal. So usually they live maybe in the ocean. I know there are some ocean ones, and then there are also river ones as well. So it's an aquatic animal that lives in the ocean or river. Little cute little guys. I'm gonna get a picture. See if we know what it is. If I can find a picture. Oh, here's a picture of a bunch of them. All right. What are these little guys? These buddies here. I think these are like this is a sea, whatever this is, a sea something. And I guess people keep these as pets. I never thought that they would be that. I guess people keep anything as a pet, but for whatever reason, YouTube, for a while there, loved recommending me videos of somebody who had one of these guys or as a pet. So that happens. Anyways, this is an otter. This furry little creature is an otter. So here in Canada, they typically live in the sea. They're more popular on the west coast. I'm on the east coast. We do not have otters here, but they have them over on the west coast of the Pacific Ocean. They have sea otters, and apparently there are also river otters and things as well. They're all very similar to the mink. All right, what else do we have going on here? So we have a pub pastime. Pub. So pub is a place where you get a drink. So it's a place where you can get a drink. Oh, does my audio keep cutting out? I just noticed that. If I'm having audio problems, let me know. Maybe I need to talk quieter. I'll try to be a little bit quieter. Yeah, so a pub is a place where you can get a drink. And maybe actually I'm gonna just fix this for a second. So there's a place where you can get a drink. Typically you would get a beer there or something like that. And these are kind of popular in let's say more like the UK or something like that. There we go. I think my audio might be better now. Sorry if my audio has been terrible. I just noticed it was like flashing red. I was like, oh no. Okay, anyways. So pub is a place where you can get a drink. Usually you would go here to get a beer. All right, so it's kind of like basically like a bar, right? So also a place where you would go to get an alcoholic beverages, or sorry, an alcoholic beverage. And there are some different games and things like that that you would play at a pub. So there are games you'd play at a pub. So this is the name of a game. This something, something, RT, something. I'm gonna get a picture of it. If I were to describe it, you have these little things. They're almost like arrows, but you would throw them to the target. So, in this game, you throw little arrows. I'm putting it in quotation marks because we don't call, they're not actually arrows, but you would throw the little arrows to the target, and everybody would, you know, you want to try to get as close to the middle, or ideally in the middle, as possible. So let's see here. See if I can get a picture of this activity for you guys. Yeah, I hope my mic is better. I didn't test things like I should have. Okay. Anyways, we're talking about this sort of thing. This thing where you throw the thing. Anyways, this little thing, this thing is a dart. So the little arrow is a dart. This board thing, the board. Throw it at the board. And you try to hit the bullseye. The bullseye is this little center, this little middle thing. So the center is the bullseye, and we would refer to this game as darts. So DARTS. So darts. All right. So we got some darts. Perfect. What else do we have here? Memorable time. What's this? We're gonna do this one, I think. So to cross the stream. This is an action. This answer here, it's kind of like an action that you would do in water. Da, 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 da. So this is an action that happens in water. The water. The stream is like a little, it's almost like a little river. So we are crossing the stream. So there's sort of an action, something like a way to cross the stream. Now we can tell here that this word is not swim, right? We have a G here, right? So swim is not possible. This is more like you walk. We're walking across. We're walking through the stream, basically. This verb means to walk through water, basically. So whatever that is called. If you think you know what it is, put it in the chat. I'm gonna get a picture. Maybe. I'm gonna get a picture so you can get an idea. But it kind of means to walk through water, and you kind of walk through water slowly because the water provides a lot of resistance, right? Here we go. This is like a stock photo. But you can see this person is doing this activity. They're walking through the water, right? They're not swimming to get to the other side of the stream. The verb here, this means to wade. You would wade in water. So we're gonna wade in water. Perfect. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna wade in water to get to the other side. So that's what we're going to do to cross the stream. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do this one. So this here, this cracked thing. I know usually we think if something is cracked, we usually mean that it's kind of broken, right? Like, here, for example, here is a picture of, it looks like maybe it was like a windshield or something like that. So the windshield, the glass on the front of the car, and it looks like it was hit by something, maybe a stone or rock or something. And then all of this is cracked, right? So that is like, you know, this piece of glass is cracked, right? So that's, I would say this is the normal, this is the most common use of this word, right? But we're not talking about that. We have a different meaning here. We could also say, if something is slightly open, it is cracked. So if something is slightly open, it is cracked. So for example, let's see, cracked window. If I can get it. Kind of like when you just open it up a little tiny bit. I try to get a picture of what I mean. Which apparently is being really hard. Here we go. This person is... There you go. This person has cracked open the window just a little bit, not the entire way, right? Because obviously we can see that it's pretty cold. But it looks like maybe they want to leave in a little bit of, they want to leave in some fresh air. So they have cracked the window here. Has cracked the window to let in some air. So they've cracked the windows to let in some air. So basically they opened the they opened the window just a bit to let some air in, okay? So this word here, our answer here, doesn't have to do with windows. It actually has to do with doors. So this word is used to describe a door that's open a little bit, okay? So we might know this word. So if it's just opened a little tiny bit. Here we go. Here we can see in this picture here. So the door is open just a little bit, little teeny tiny little bit. And there's a word that we would use specifically for doors. That is what this is. So if you think you know what it is, put in the chat. So who knew there were so many uses for the word cracked, right? This little 4-letter word for a door that's slightly open. So this is going to be ajar. So this door is ajar. It is slightly open. So that is what we would use. If the door is cracked open a little bit, it's ajar. Hey Dave, welcome. Thank you for your positive vibes. I super appreciate it. I hope you're having a really great day as well. I'm gonna talk really quickly about the answers to these ones. So we can see this one here is wanes. The question was declines. Basically, if something wanes, it gets lesser. Like it kind of goes away. We would talk about the moon waning. So when it gets bigger, when it goes from a new moon to a full moon, it's waxing. Then when it goes from the full moon to the new moon, it is waning. So it declines. So that's what it means to wane. Something lessens. And then here, this memorable time here. Memorable time. An era. So an era is usually sort of a time when something maybe important happens, right? Lots of different important eras during history. So those are those answers there. What else do we have going on here? Let's see here. So I think we could do this one here. Can we see? I think, yes. Okay, so our pet perch. Pet perch. A perch is usually something that an animal, usually a bird, for example. Birds would sit on perches. So a perch is usually something that a bird sits on. Okay, so a perch. So we know that we're looking for a place where an animal would sit. So we have this 3-letter word here. A place where an animal, well, where a pet would sit. Pet would sit. So, and I know birds can be pets, obviously. Birds can be pets, but I think this place is more common. It's a more common place for maybe a cat or a dog to sit. This is a common place for a cat or a dog to sit. Okay. So kind of a common place, yeah, for a cat or a dog to sit. You know, if you sat down on the couch, for example, your pet, your cat or their dog might want to sit on you. So, yeah, this is a place your cat or dog would sit if they want to sit on you. So we're looking for that, you know, like a name. The name for that place. So on a person basis, sure. so you can see what I mean. Actually, this is a funny one because this dog is way too big for this person. But you can see this this dog here on top of this person. Perched on top of this person, sitting on top of this person. We're looking for a name for this place. So if you think you know, I might have internet problems. Oh. Because I just got like a... Yeah, I guess I'm having issues today. Anyways. This is a lap. So we're gonna sit on a lap. Alright. So we're gonna sit in a lap. And if I'm having internet issues, I might stop actually. YouTube is giving me errors. Yay. Anyways, pet perch is gonna be the lap here. So that would be a place where a pet is going to sit up here at a lap. I know not everybody likes having pets on their laps. So are you a pet? Let me know if you're a pet person and if you like when your pets sit on your lap, or maybe you don't. We have a cat here that loves to sit on my lap. I am not even necessarily a cat person, but he loves to hang out. All right, what else do we have here? This is kind of an interesting one. So we have this answer. So the question here is wrote, right? So we know this is the past form of the word write, right? So to write, wrote, and then written, the past participle, right? So great irregular verbs here, important ones that we need to know. And this answer here, I think I added one too many. We know is also going to be like the past form. So actually, I'm going to put like the little ed in here because I think this ends in an ed. Basically looking for a synonym that means to write. And not just any writing, actually, because I know you can write things on the computer these days, right? That's very common. Or you can write text messages on your phone. This word refers more to how you would traditionally write. So before the advent of the computer and everything like that, right? People would sit down. They would sit down with, you know, one of these, and you would write on a piece of paper, right? So this verb actually comes from that act. So that's a little bit of a hint. Oh yeah, you can see my audio is still freaking out. So yeah, so this verb kind of has the name of this thing in it. This verb, the object you write with in it. So, and this verb in particular, we probably would use when we're talking about people who maybe write books or novels, literature, things like that. So if you think I have an idea, let me know. I'm gonna try to like figure out some of my audio problems a little bit. I guess I have to fiddle with my settings. Anyways, this is penned. You might pen a letter, or, you know, pen a letter to your friend. It's kind of more formal. It's a very kind of a formal word. But yeah, penned here. All right. What else do we have here? So reluctant. Where's KO count? I think we can get this one here. This release thing. To release someone or something. Usually means that, you know, maybe originally they were locked up or they were shut in someplace, and then you let them go into the world. It's hard to explain this one without giving the answer. Basically, you give, you know, the freedom to release something, to give freedom or free movement. There you go. To someone or something. So for example here, I'll put this in context. So many pop-ups. Here we go. He was released from prison after serving 2 years of a 5-year sentence. So we're looking for a phrasal verb, basically. This is a phrasal verb. L, something, something. 2 words, something, something, something. That basically means, that would basically be a synonym here that we could replace here. So, you know, so he's been given his freedom. So if you have an idea, let me know. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. The second part of this phrasal verb starts with an O. I'm gonna put an O here. Another hint too, I accidentally said this word while I was doing my description. So kind of a very common word here. This is gonna be let out. You know, so we could say that he was let out of prison. Usually we say let out of something. He let out of something. That's usually the preposition that would come here, where you would say you would be released from something. So just like notice that little important detail here. But yeah, you're gonna be let out. So there we go. Okay. Let's see. I don't know what this is. This Kaio count. Well, I think I know what this one is though. You may know this one. Maybe not. This is kind of a good word. Not as not super common. But let's talk about what it means if you are reluctant to do something, or if you were reluctant about something. Yeah. So if you are reluctant, if you're reluctant to do something, it kind of means that maybe like you're kind of, you don't really want to do something. So if you're reluctant to do something, if you're reluctant to do something, you don't want to do it. So you do it, but maybe it takes you a lot longer to do it. Maybe you procrastinate, or maybe you kind of have some like mixed feelings about it, kind of like negative feelings about doing the thing. So you move a lot slower. You don't really take action. So yeah, so because you don't really want to do something. So that's kind of key. We don't want to do something. So that's our key clue here as to what this answer is. So basically, this word means if you strongly dislike something. Because if you were reluctant to do something, you don't really like it a lot here. So this word basically means like, yes, like strongly dislike something or be opposed to something. So this could be a new word. It's, I feel like it's I don't know if I want to say it's formal. I wouldn't use this word super often, but it's a good word to know. Yeah, so if you strongly dislike something or opposed to something, we would say maybe that you are averse to something. So it's kind of a great little word to know. Here we go. I'm gonna put it in a sentence here so we can see how this is used, because it is a great word. So few people are, like, so few as in not many people. Few people are averse to the idea of a free holiday. So, you know, not very many people dislike the idea of having a free holiday, right? So they're not opposed to having a free holiday, basically. Or here's another way that we might use this as well. So I'm just like grabbing this from the dictionary, but I'm not averse to the occasional glass of champagne. So that means, like, you know, like I'll do it from time to time. It's not a deal breaker. It's okay. So yeah, so kind of a way to say that, you know, something is okay. If I say that I'm not averse to something, it means that I don't mind it. Maybe I'm not averse to something, or like I don't mind. Like, yeah, I'm not averse to it. I'm not against it, right? So kind of more, these are kind of more common ways I might express this idea, but we can definitely say I'm not averse to something. So yeah, so, you know, if you drink occasionally, like, yeah, I'm not averse to drinking from time to time. To say that you'll do it, but also indicates that you're not like super gung-ho, super excited about that activity. But yeah, kind of a great word to know, to have in our pockets from time to time. I think we do this one really quickly. This rhino feature. And I might actually go rhino feature. So I gotta do the rhino feature. A feature is sort of something that's very prominent, or very sort of like it's kind of something that's distinct about something, right? So a rhino is an animal, right? It's an animal that has a very distinct feature, a distinct characteristic that lets you know that a rhino is a rhino. So a rhino, short for rhinoceros. So short for rhinoceros. Here is a rhino. And we can see that they have these things on the end of their noses. So if we're looking for the word of this thing on its nose, so something, 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 something. Looking for the name of that thing. This is the thing a rhino has on the end of its nose. So if you think you know what this is called, this thing, let me know. Actually, I think usually they have two. They have two of them. Or maybe it depends on different breeds. I don't know a lot about rhinos. Anyways, this thing, though, this thing is called a horn. So rhinoceroses have horns. And that is a feature. That is a characteristic. That's very distinctive. Very distinctive, something that makes a rhinoceros and separates it from all the other animals, basically. So what do we have here? Con man's trick. Oh, let's do this one, this better half. I like this one. Yeah, this is kind of a funny... This is a good little, your better half. This is a really great sort of idiomatic way to refer to basically your somebody who's very special in your life. Let's start with that. So here we have the answer here. Something U-S-E, but your better half. So your better half, if we talk about, you know, your better half in English, we are talking about your partner. Your partner. So, and usually, like either your wife or your husband. So depending, right? So the person that you are married to, we might refer to them as your better half because maybe, you know, they compliment you and you really adore them. You really cherish them, right? Oops. So your better half. Yeah, so better half is a really cute way to refer to your partner in a very adoring way. And this word, this answer here, is kind of like the generic way to refer to the person that you are married to. So the answer is a generic way to refer to the person you are married to. So, and when I say generic, I mean, because it doesn't indicate gender, right? So it is gender neutral. We might say something gender neutral doesn't indicate gender. Like the word child wouldn't indicate your the gender of a child, right? A sibling as well would indicate that you have a brother or sister, but doesn't indicate gender, right? And this one here, this here is your spouse. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. Great job. Welcome for Shabi. I don't think I said that right, but welcome. So we have spouse here. Yes, your better half. So the person that you're married to, your better half. Great word to know, and this is a great little phrase to know too if you want to refer to your partner in a very loving, in a very endearing way. You would refer to them as your better half. All right, what else do we have here? I don't know if we're gonna know what this is, but let's see here. Commons trick. Let's do this one. A sly one. This one, let's see, 3 letters here. This, so you know how in English we say like lions are courageous or maybe they're brave or something. You would be as busy as a bee, for example, right? We would say that there is an animal that is sly. So, as you know, you could be as sly as a whatever this word is. And I'll try to remember. They're like sibiles, basically. But yeah, this is a name. This here is the name of an animal. So this is an animal that we would typically say is sly that has this characteristic. And if we're not sure of what sly means, I'll tell you in a minute. I think my internet's not being great. But if you're sly, you're very clever. You'd be very clever, but you're really good at deceiving or tricking people. Clever and good at deceiving and tricking people. So there's a little animal that we might say in this common this common simile. Yeah, I'm gonna get a picture of this animal. If you think you know what it is, put it in the chat. But it's one of these little guys. These little animals. So if you think you know what this is, let me know. So we would say somebody might be as sly as a fox. So a great little one to know, a great little sort of like phrase that we would use. So somebody's sly as a fox. There's all sorts of them. Like all sorts of like animal similes. I'm like pull up a list because I'm tired. Yeah, we might say that somebody is as quiet as a mouse. Or as stubborn as a mule. So a mule, stubborn as a mule, as brave as a lion, as busy as a bee, or as busy as a beaver too. So all sorts of sort of like little similes we would say, but yeah, it's as fly as a fox. Here we go. I'll put that in here. Stop moving. Da, 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 da. All right. Let's do this one here. This this con man. Who's a con man? Somebody who cons. Plays tricks on people, right? I mean, we can see that here, right? Like con man's trick or whatever like that. But basically they try to like trick people. Maybe they're deceitful. They try to get something from people. So this word here is kind of another word for something really similar. You know, basically this is kind of like a plan to deceive someone. So plan to deceive someone. Plan to deceive someone, like, maybe you tell somebody that something is gonna happen, and then you do that to, like, trick them into doing something. But yeah, basically another word for, like, a trick or a con. Something like that. Fraud, like it's a type of fraud, right? Okay, this is gonna be hoax. I'm gonna put hoax in here. Yeah, all right. So we got hoax there. So sort of our plan to trick people. Put this in a sentence for us. So the bomb threat turned out to be a hoax. So it turned out to be sort of a plot to trick people or scare people. Something like that. Designed to trick people. Yeah, so another great sort of little word to know. What else we have here? Just like wondering. We can zip the through this. I know I can zip through this. Maybe we can do this just like slept in beds. So a bed, right? Obviously a place where we sit, right? Sleep. Right? And usually after you wake up, you would put the blankets and everything like that back onto the bed, right? And you would make the bed, right? After you wake up, you get out of bed and you'd put the blankets. You would tidy up the blankets, right? And make them, you know, nicer, right? This act would be called like to make the bed, right? But we're looking for a word that would describe sort of the bed before you've fixed it up, right? So we're basically looking for a word. Kind of when it's still looking like this, right? So when it's still like this, when we haven't fixed it up yet, so it's gonna be an adjective. Something, 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 something. Something like that. So we might say that this bed, since it hasn't been made yet, we might say that this is an unmade bed. So there we go, unmade. Put that in there, right there. What else could we do here? Let's see if we can do this one. Let's do this one. I gotta do all the long ones since I don't have many people right now. So sales goals. We can see that there's an S here. I'm gonna put an S here as well because we know that those are always going to match. And when you work in sales, you often have to meet some targets. So basically, what does that mean? What are those targets? Usually they are like maybe like you have to sell a specific amount in a period of time, or maybe you have to sell to a specific number of people. I think it's usually like you have to, I don't work in sales, but it's like you have to sell a number of products to match a specific amount of money. So there is a word, there's another word that we would use to describe that in sales. I'm gonna give you a hint. It starts with a Q. Yeah, it is starts with a Q here. This is definitely a very businessy term. Yeah, it's basically this word. I'm gonna get rid of the S here actually. Yeah, it's basically a fixed limit, or basically a fixed amount that sellers are expected to sell, I guess, basically. So an amount. We could tell here because there is a Q here, there's probably a U right after it, so we can do, that's logical, right? Yeah. Anyways, this is a quota. Quota. People need to usually meet sales quotas. So, all right. Sales quotas. And I think I spelled that right. Yes, I did. Yeah, so we got our sales quotas. So basically they are expected to sell the specific about. And that, yeah, that's all right. Or sales target, we might say as well, too. All right. I had to do a couple more, and then I think I'm going to take off and fix my issues, my audio issues and stuff. But I'm going to try to do this later tonight, too. Because as I mentioned earlier, I am in Canada. And I want to do one of these in, like, during my evenings. So see if maybe people in similar time zones in the Americas might be interested in participating in this. So I know I have a lot of, I know I definitely teach a lot of, like, Brazilian students and people from South America and stuff like that. So I want to see how it goes. That's my plan. Let's see. Let's pop the bubbly. What is the bubbly? So the bubbly here kind of refers to, it's a drink that we would use when celebrating. It's a specific type of drink you would have while celebrating. I'm gonna, like, get a picture. You might have this on, like, sort of to celebrate maybe a wedding or an anniversary. New Year's, it is also very common to drink this on New Year's. Bubbly refers to champagne. Yeah, so it refers to champagne. Because it has lots of little bubbles in here, so people will call it bubbly. So to pop the bubbly basically means to open a champagne bottle. All right, so we want to open the champagne bottle. So this word here, O-N something, 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 something. We're talking about opening this bottle. And champagne in particular has kind of a very specific top, right? Well, wine bottles also have these, right? Typically where the ends, like, they have this little thing, this little stopper at the top, right? So this verb kind of has that word in it. So you would, like, pull off, here we go, you, like, pull out the little stopper, basically, like this here. So if you know the name of this little stopper, let me know, because it is part of our answer. So this little thing here, this is a cork. So we have a cork here, so we're going to uncork the bottle. So the cork here, this is going to be the noun. And we could use uncork as a verb. So to uncork a bottle, so to uncork a bottle of champagne, a bottle of bubbly, in this case, we could also uncork a wine bottle as well. So that's what we're gonna do. I can hear my cat screaming at me in the background. So that's cool. Oh, I spelled this wrong. Quota. Quota. Jeez. There you go. Yes. This is why I haven't been doing these streams. I'm not awake at this hour. Anyways, all right, so we have our cork. We're gonna uncork this. What else are we gonna do? So our fridge. Oh, let's do this troubling sign here, because I think that this is kind of a good, very common sign, basically. A troubling sign here. We're talking about something sort of like a sign, maybe a symbol that predicts the future. So a sign or a symbol that tells us about the future. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, so basically, yeah, it's kind of like a this word here, yeah, this word here, this something. Just like basically, yeah, like the word for that sign or that symbol that would give us an idea about how the future is going to go. And usually, I mean, this thing could also be a good thing too. There are, you know, good ones. But usually when we use this word, we're thinking about sort of an indication of something bad that is going to happen. So, almost like bad luck or something. All right, so this is an omen. Our omen is going to be our troubling sign about the future. Omen. Yeah, so we got our omen here. And what else we got here? I don't know what this is. I know that this here, this steel, so steel ingredient. What the heck is steel? Steel is a type of metal, basically, and it's a very common metal that is used to do all sorts of things. Usually they use it for constructing buildings and things like that, right? Here we can see here in this picture, you know, we have like the structure that's all made out of these steel beams, right? So steel in itself is kind of comprised of a couple different things. I'm not like 100% sure everything that goes in it, but it's a mixture of like one type of metal and carbon, and that makes it really, really, really strong. So this here, basically another type of metal. This is like a natural, this is like an element. So a type of element that would go into, yes, this is a chemical element that is common. It's like a common grayish color. And then we would use it in steel. So if you think you happen to know what that is, let me know. This here. Hey Stella, welcome. We're doing crosswords. We're doing crosswords, mostly on Facebook and YouTube. But you're welcome to hang out if you think you know an answer. Let me know. I'm looking for this element that is commonly used to make steel. So this very common element. If you're a chemistry person, this is the symbol here. I am not a chemistry person, but I definitely know people who are chemistry people. This is iron. This is going to be our element. So iron, common ingredient in steel. Yes, perfect. Awesome. Let's see what else we can get done up here. Barbell, yes. So bar, obviously a place we go to get a drink, right? A place to get an alcoholic drink. I know we talked about the pub a little bit earlier. So a place to get an alcoholic drink. A math teacher. Yeah. I'm also not a like a chemistry teacher, but sometimes I have students that are chemical engineers and things like that, so they would totally know what this is. So yeah, so we go to the bar, we'll get an alcoholic drink, and usually, at least over here in, you know, Canada and United States, it's really common for you to maybe like set up sort of a thing where you will have your drinks and then you pay at the end of the night. So bar, place to get the alcoholic drink. So this thing is basically this here, that little bill that would basically have all of your drinks that you've drank for the night. So the bill you get at a bar that includes all the drinks you've drank during the night. So I'm an English teacher, so that is why I'm over explaining all of these questions, because most of my viewers, the people that I work with, they are all learning English as a second language. So we are reviewing vocabulary, reviewing phrases, learning some new things along the way. So that's what we're doing. They are all adults. So I work with adults, so people who are learning English as a second language. Yeah, so I've been trying to use the crossword as a bit of a opportunity for review, but also to learn new phrases and things like that. So that's what we've been doing. Oh, well, I'm a native speaker. I'm a native speaker, so everybody else, the other people are not. Anyways, so this bill that you get at the bar that has all the drinks that you've drank during the night, this is going to be called the tab. So the tab is going to be our answer here. And so we would say, you know, you would either, you would say, you know, you put it on a tab, for example. So put it on the tab, we would say. Or to add it to your tab, right? These are kind of like the verbs that we would use when we're talking about the tab. So basically, you know, add it to my tab, or I want to pay my tab. So that is the bill with all of your drinks. No worries about being wrong. It's all good. Yeah. What else do we have here going on here? We're gonna do this really quickly. This is like an old-fashioned sort of word for refrigerator, and I'm just double checking. Yes, this is gonna be a two-word answer, because sometimes there are multiple word answers in this crossword. But kind of like so very old-fashioned. So this is like this is before the invention of the refrigerator, right? It would be common for people to it would be really common to store food sort of almost like a cabinet, right? And you would pack it with some sort of thing to keep it cold. Yeah, so that first word here, that's going to be ice, right? So ice, that is going to be that thing that we're going to use to keep it cold, right? It's basically frozen water, right? Water to keep it cold. And we have box here. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, we don't really use these things nowadays, but I was just, because I got curious and I was kind of like looking online for some pictures. Here's sort of like an old-fashioned, an antique ice box that they might have used. Isn't that crazy? Obviously, we don't do that these days, but some people might, you know, Some people might occasionally refer to their fridge, though, as the icebox, something like that. But yeah, not super common, though. But once upon a time, this was common. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. What else we got going in here? Mitten. Material. So material, that refers to the stuff that something is made out of, right? So in material, here we're talking about sort of like fabric, like textiles, right? So material, basically fabric, or like a type of textile, right? So like fabric and stuff like that. Do you always stream like this? So not always. I was trying to experiment with this crossword thing. Maybe like I was doing it in like November and December, and then January I wasn't doing it. But sometimes I also do other different kinds of live classes, but not on Twitch, because I don't have a lot of people on Twitch. I have like way more people on Facebook and YouTube and stuff. So usually we'll do sort of like more like live lessons and things like that that look at exam questions and things like that. I just thought that this crossword would be a fun way for people to review their things. I'm not a gamer, so I wouldn't game. But the crossword is kind of cool. It's kind of a cool way for people to review, like learn stuff. So I'm gonna share what mittens are. So we are all on the same page. If you are not in a place that gets cold, you may not know what these are. But here in Canada land, we definitely know what mittens are because it gets very cold. So we can see here we have mittens. They are made out of a very specific type of material. And this material, I know we might think that this answer here is actually wool. It is not wool. So I will say that much. There are a couple different, like they could be made out of wool for sure, but there are also kinds, like different types of this stuff. I'm gonna like show what this material looks like before it has been knitted together. So we're looking for the name of this stuff here. And yes, you can ask a thing. I can't guarantee you that I'll have an answer. So we're looking for the name of this stuff when it's kind of all in the little balls, right? I'll give you a hint. This word starts with a Y. This word starts with a Y. Yeah, so we're looking for the word for whatever this is before we knit it together. There. This stuff here is called yarn. And yarn could be made out of all sorts of different things. I'm usually the classic idea of yarn, you know, is made out of wool, right? But there's also, you know, so there's also like cotton and things like that. Or actually, there's like synthetic yarn. But what is in these balls before it's been put together? We would call it yarn. So I'm gonna put that in here. Why you uploaded this boring PFP? I don't know what PFP is. What is that? Oh, do you mean like my photo? Like that profile picture? Is that what you mean? Like the little speech balloons and stuff like that? So, cause I yeah, because I have like I have a lot of like almost like a company. So most people, so I just do everything through like my teaching business. So it's associated with my teaching business. It's not really associated with me as a person, although I am definitely the person doing all the work. If that makes sense. But yeah, that's why, because this isn't really my personal thing. It's more like a work thing, if that makes sense. So this is yarn. All right. Let's see here. What else we got here? Actually, I gotta go soon. Do you stream games? I know you mentioned games, so that should also be good. I like my logo. You don't like my logo? Well, that's unfortunate. I'm fine with my logo. Anyways, let's see. Pen, staff item. Let's talk about this. The staff items. Not stream. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So I think usually when we think of the word staff, we think about people who maybe work in an office or something like that, right? Staff, maybe the people who work together at an office, who are employed at an office. This sort of business, right? So usually that's kind of one way we can think about the word staff, but this has a different meaning, I think. This is the answer to this has to do with something to do with music, because in music there is also a staff. Okay, so in music, here's the staff that we might use in music. So we have the treble, so the sort of like the higher sort of range. Then we have like the bass, the sort of like the lower range, okay? And there are different symbols that we place on the staff that people would then read when they're playing music. So I'm gonna get a bit of a different picture here. So we know what we're all kind of on the same page, maybe, possibly, if I can find something. Gosh. Okay, here we go. Here is sort of a better picture. Bit of a better picture. We can see here this music, right? We have some sheet music here. And we can see all of the different symbols and things like that that go on the staff. So this word, this four-letter word, get rid of, oops, what did I do? Delete, there we go. This four-letter word, it's gonna be a word for one of these symbols. Yeah. So one of these, we're looking for like one of these symbols here. So so we have, you know, different kinds of things. We have, you know, sort of like those, like I know we talked about the clefs, right? We have some little rests here, but I think this word, actually, this is going to be a note. So we would show the different notes on the staff. So I'm gonna put that in here. All right, perfect. What else do we have here going on? All right, see ya, Stella. Thanks for dropping by. Have a good one. All right, I'm gonna do this here. Prohibit, full range. Yeah. Let's do this here. Prohibit. To prohibit something basically means that something is no longer allowed. It's not possible anywhere, right? Or anymore, right? To prohibit something basically means, yeah, to say that something is no longer allowed. So, something is no longer allowed. Da, 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 da. We have our 3-letter word for this. 3-letter word for this. So I think we can know what this one is. Pretty common one. Basically it means to like forbid something. Right? Forbid something. Basically say that it is not allowed anymore. We're gonna to ban something, right? We will ban. Gotta ban something. Perfect. Alrighty. Gotta ban something. Yeah. What else we got here? I did a couple more and then I'm gonna take off. Because I gotta take off. Oh, let's do this one really quickly. This fork feature. So something that makes a fork. Let me get a little picture here. This word refers to the little, you know, like the little teeth that a fork has, basically. P something. O-N something. So the name for the teeth that a fork has. So the name for the teeth that a fork has. So if you think you know that that is, put in the chat. Basically referring to these little things. These little kind of little spiky things. These are called prongs. Here is a prong. So we got here prong, the fork prongs. So kind of great little word. All right. So I think I'm gonna call it because I want to go. I want to fix my audio problems. I want to fix my audio problems. I want to like figure out some things that I have going on here in the back end. I know I've been having like some little bit of little tech hiccups and things. But I'm gonna come back later. I am going to try this tonight because I want to maybe, I don't know. I always feel like people from South America are missing out on some of the things that I do. So I want to give it a go. So I'm going to come back tonight in a couple of hours. I believe that is at like 21 and 30. So, or at 9:30, we would say 9:30 UTC. So coming back at 9:30 UTC, that's like 5:30 my time. And yeah, we're gonna have we're gonna do a crossword. We're gonna do a different crossword. It's gonna be from maybe Mondays or something. I'm not entirely sure, but we're gonna do a different crossword. So feel free to come back, or if you're watching this after, feel free to come back later if you think you're gonna be around at that time, because I want to check it out. I wanted to give it a go. Anyways, okay. Also too, I am working on getting the information out for my next article in my article discussion series for the conversation class series. So I'm working on that, and I also know that I also need to upload a bunch of new listening tasks and everything like that to Telegram. So all of that is coming. I'm trying desperately to get back to normal and do all of my habits and things like that. So thanks so much for bearing with me. Thanks everybody who came out and threw in an answer or two. I really appreciate it. If you like this kind of activity, feel free to give this a like, give me a follow. Feel free to recommend it to your friends as well. You can share this video to your favorite English learning group on Facebook. So if you could spread the word, that would really help me. I would really appreciate it so much. So that would really help me, definitely. All right. Anyways, I will see you all later then. So, and if I don't see you tonight at 9:30 UTC, I will be back on Friday with another stream at this time. So this is 1300 UTC. All right. See you. Bye.